Horus Chimera, Horus Centurion, Sinful Snake Eyes. What era are we in for the meta? Make sure you guys smash that crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. We're diving into the CCT event out of China City here, and 350 participants. Now, the reason why I wanted to highlight this is look at this meta. You have Sinful Spoil's Snake Eye Fire King, which, yeah, I can't wait for the TCG to start exploring how crazy that deck is. Horus Centurion, that's another thing that I'm extremely excited about, where people are going to start to see, you know, how crazy building Centurion boards with Horus cards is going to be. You get to see the decapitation of the branded package. And then you have some of this Horus Chimera stuff that's been floating around out here. And I do think that seeing the evolution of the Horus deck with the Chimera Illusion package is very interesting. And of course, I see Island Forces as well, but like, this is genuinely interesting to see for how crazy of a breakdown this is. Even down here to like top 32, Supreme King Magicians found a way to make their way on in to top cut here. So got some pictures of the event here, so let's dig on in to our first place list here. And the first immediate things that I see drawn to my attention here are, of course, we are playing Framberge in this list, which is not something that I see a lot of these lists typically doing. Mainly if I'm heading more towards like just playing pure version of this deck, sure, for the Sinful Spoils, but also our Fire King package. Look how much smaller. This is 2 Ponix, 1 Avatar, 3 Kirin, and the 1 Garunix. And then obviously, you know, you have double Fire King Island. Please, if you're going to play this deck, make sure you stick to double Fire King Island. You're going to lose every single game out here if you try to dedicate and play this deck without 2 Fire King Islands. I can't believe I even have to say that, because like, it should be common sense that you do want to maximize and be able to play 2 of these. In terms of extra deck, I mean, a lot of this feels pretty standard. In terms of deck build, like, you're not gonna get away with adjusting ratios too crazily, but do kind of keep in mind that playing 1 of this is probably going to be fine. And of course, the Princess of the Brokenness. Yes, we are very familiar with what this card's doing. I also see Zero Boros over here getting some love as well. Maybe that's something that we should really start to consider. Zero Boros actually starting to see play. That's a big, scary warning sign, in my opinion. All right, shift gears down here to our Centurion Horus build. Now, the first little things that I guarantee you're probably going to look at with this, you're going to go, okay, so our Horus package is just 3-1 with double sarcophagus. Yeah, well, welcome to the club. That's extremely normal, I feel like, at this point. Now, you're on 1 Emmet, triple, and then, of course, one interesting thing I do want to say about this list, though, is because we are playing the Horus package, this build is not playing Bonfire, which means straight when the TCG gets this version of the deck, you will be able to play this right away. I repeat, this will be effectively TCG legal right off the bat, because your Horus package, just free build in. Yeah, okay, sure. We have cross out for more defensive plays, but be honest with you, you don't really need this. Also, love this extra deck. Like, you're playing 1 Crimson Dragon, 1 of the Cosmic Blazar, and 1 King Calamity. It's pretty amazing to me how much this deck has evolved, where they've stripped out, you know, playing the additional copies of this stuff. And TCG, I have a feeling, would love to play some Pot of Prosperities with this, just to get some pretty extra free fodder for filtering. Like, you already know, TCG, what we're going to be doing with this. I like this build a lot. Next up is our first branded variant. And let's be honest here for a second. The fact that the OCG still has Expulsion is probably a very disgusting thing to you. You're probably looking at this and you're like, really? The OCG still has this? Yeah. But you're going to notice something. Do you see the Gimmick Puppet in the main deck? No Gimmick Puppet in the main. It's actually down here in the side deck. While they do have Expulsion, most of the builds, if any, have just opted to just have access to it in the side deck, which is fine. Honestly, it's one of those cases of, you know, you're able to see it, you know, you can kind of go ahead and do your thing. And also, you know, it's hilarious. A deck like Branded is now siding Shifter. Alright, that's how you can tell that the meta has turned into an absolute crapshoot for what it is if a deck like Branded is able to just take advantage of this. Because, this deck can function, and, as long as it can set up and do its thing. Okay, now, we have more Branded for you. I guarantee you're going to see some really weird things here. So, first of all, please take note of all of the one-of-hand trap anomalies that you see here, because there's a Lancia, there's a Skullmeister, there's a Droll, there's an Effect Veiler, and there's a one-of Ghost Ogre. This build also doesn't make any sense to me, because do you see the cross-out Designator? I certainly don't. That's why I'm so perplexed with this list, that, even down here in the side deck, we're not even playing Shifter. Like, what an oddity at the end of the day, that you're able to try out all of these, even down here in the side deck. Thank you for the one-of Thrust, by the way. Just so they're even playing one-of Strike. Come on, how? I'm genuinely perplexed by this. I guess this is a good example of oddities for the format. Okay, sure. Next up down here, we have what Rescue Ace looks like in the OCG, and anything look too different here, right? Like, okay, so some Maxis, sure. They have the little Sinful Spoils monster that, when it's added, gets to special itself, which is actually kind of insane. Like, this card is super good. Of course, we're making the Heat Soul. Yeah, I also love the fact that the OCG never really dedicates anything to the firewall play, I don't think any builds really in the OCG have done much with the firewall stuff. That feels pretty much like a TCG version at this point, where, we drop the little fusion that provides us with the negate. I feel like they would rather just dedicate their resources to kind of setting up. Also, to be fair, making the Link 3 usually just kind of puts you in a better position. Also, no Ambla Whale for this. Most of the builds that I remember have been pretty Ambla Whale dependent. Okay. Next up is our Horus Chimera. Now, the first thing you're going to notice here is we are playing this little wax guy here, and they are playing another illusion monster that we don't quite have yet. Yes. Well, who would have guessed when you have literally well, actually, I think we just got this. We're missing this little guy right here. So this kind of expands out your toolbox of illusion monsters by just a little bit. Now, please notice that we are playing Blessing of the Horus over Hoppy, which is also an oddity to me in itself, because I swear you care more about the adding back from the draw power, but most of the time here, Zombie Vampire, hey, high roll, mill off some extremely good Chimera cards from your deck, you're pretty much set up and good to go for the rest of the game. So that's actually kind of cool. But the little wax guy for the fire is actually pretty good. Next up is look at Silent Forces again, and I'm gonna tell you, seeing what this deck can do, just the cool differences in the meta. Like, Skull Knight here and Novox is insane. You are playing your good old Nadir Servant package. Please take note that there is 0 Ecclesia in this deck. Alright, most of everything that you're going to be doing is free. Keep in mind, because of Nadir Servant package, we are playing the Schism. Drop the App Cologne, drop the Guru, get a free draw card, or drop an Ints for spot removal, and then go ahead and you can make the Winda during your opponent's turn. The hilarious part about all this is if your hand plays out correctly, you should probably have a Novox with this. The spell card protecting the Novox from getting created, so this turns on a negate, and then you will have the ability to make the Winda on the opponent's turn to punish them. That's it. That's the game plan. Is it crazy? No, it's all you really need right now, and I think that's actually pretty impressive. So that is everything out of this event. I will say that the way that their meta looks, it's a lot more Horus engine-y. They've even had like Naturia Horus showing up as of late, which has been interesting to say the least. And I think a lot more people are experimenting around because we kind of are what feels like the age of the engine at this point in time. I mean, take note here, there's even like a Horus Eldritch variant. I mean, let's be honest though, the TCG has already been experiencing the Horus, or not the, yeah, we've been experiencing it with the Diabellstar stuff. So very, very, very interesting to see the age of the engine taking over. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.